Minecraft.
Well, unfortunately, this didn't work out quite as well as I had hoped. This is the Meteor Defense Gun, and it's a part of MeteorCraft. And the idea behind that is when a meteor is going to hit the ground, it will destroy it. And it does do that so that meteors don't hit the ground. You can see here there's a bunch of glowstone and gunpowder, which are the remnants of a meteor that the Meteor Defense Gun went ahead and destroyed so that it didn't hit the meteor itself didn't hit the ground. But I just missed recording it. I wish that I had caught it. While it does stop the meteor itself from hitting the ground, it causes this. It's hard to explain here, but this area I had flattened out this area, or not flattened out, but I had removed all of the... Let me just collect up the last of this glowstone, I guess, before I explain this. From the top of this little hill point, I had removed everything from up here. When the meteor gun shoots and destroys a meteor, it breaks apart in these pieces and then they just rain down. So it was much like the meteor storm that I had before, which I was really hoping that the meteor gun would completely destroy the meteor and have nothing remaining. Instead it does this, which means that I had leveled off the top of this mountain because I wanted to put something up here, and now I feel like I can't do that because every time there's a meteor, this is going to happen, where there's just a strewing of ores and blocks and whatnot that are just going to keep landing. So I'm not really sure what to do. Either I don't have the Meteor Defense Gun and the big chunks of meteors are going to keep landing in spots and making holes. That's what this hole here is. This hole, these holes. I had leveled off this area and then meteors had hit. Then I put down the Meteor Defense Gun and it's causing this type of effect instead of the big giant chunks of meteors. So there's no way to stop the meteors completely, unfortunately. It just appears that if I'm going to want to do anything, I'm going to have to do it all underground, which, you know, is okay, but I had a reason why I wanted this flat area of space up here. I wanted to put something here. It's something that I can do underground. I'd have to dig out of space for it, but it's just a shame that I can't do it up here without fear of the meteors essentially destroying the landscape. But that's just the way it is, and I'll have to live with it. But I just wanted to show you that the Meteor Defense Gun, it does in fact work. If I can be present during an actual meteor, if I can record it, I would love to show you, because it does end up looking pretty cool, looking straight up and just seeing all these blocks falling down around you. I'm back at my base after inspecting what the Meteor Defense Gun has been doing, and first thing I noticed was that Madam Curie is gone. There's her leash. Apparently she chewed through it or broke it or something, and there appears to be a note of some kind. So let's see what this note says. Mr. Khan, your former employee, Madam Curie, has informed us of your recent summoning of the Wither. We cannot believe you would be so careless. The Wither represents a huge danger to our planet. We cannot allow you to continue to summon Withers and put our planet at such severe risk. We are hereby informing you that you need to immediately cease and desist your actions. We understand that you have powerful weapons and armor at your disposal, but we are also sure you understand the dangers that a Wither represents. We do not wish to take aggressive action against you. but if you continue in your actions, we will be forced to retaliate. While we may be no challenge to your armor and weapons, we are certain that some carefully placed TNT will destroy your power infrastructure. We do not wish to mean this as a threat. It certainly sounds like a threat to me. But we cannot allow withers to be summoned and threaten our existence. We hope you can understand our position. Signed, the Minecraft Conference of Mayors. Will those sons of... Well, I have taken some time to calm myself down from that letter I received from the Council of Minecraft Mayors. My initial reaction was to go on a rampage, show them who's boss. I've done some thinking about it though, and I realize I basically have two options available to me. One is to continue doing whatever I want to do and suffer whatever retaliation they may decide to do against me. There's probably ways that I can defend myself and my base to make sure that they can't, as they said, threaten me with their TNT. I'm positive there's things that I could do. But in thinking a little bit more about it, I thought, there's really no point in me making enemies of the populace of Minecraft. I mean, after all, I do share the planet with them, and they do outnumber me as well. So, democratically speaking, I should listen to what they want. I'm not going to say it still doesn't make me mad that they don't trust that I could protect them from a wither, but yeah, I've decided to just go ahead and agree to not summon any more withers. Well, on this planet. They did say they didn't want me summoning withers on their planet. They didn't say anything about summoning withers on the moon. So the next step, I'm going to travel to the moon. Now, in order to get to the moon, I know that I need a lot of resources. And I actually think I have quite a bit of resources. I'm low on iron, but it seems like I'm always low on iron with all having to turn it into steel to make everything for the RotaryCraft, ReactorCraft mod, so I can always use some more iron. But I do have a lot of aluminum and a lot of gold and lead. Copper and tin, I think, are used in Galacticraft in order to travel to the moon. So I might have enough resources, but I'm really not sure. I also know I need a lot of silicon. I've got 85 there, and then I've got some more ore that I can mine up, of course. But even though I do have quite a bit of materials, I think I'm going to go ahead and work on a way to get more materials. Now, I have been automating all kinds of stuff over here with applied Energistics and using the power from RotaryCraft. So, for example, I have 4 extractors there, and each one of them is set up to take in a different kind of ore from the applied Energistics system. For example, Certus or Nether or Diamond or Emerald, and this one over here does iron, gold, aluminum, etc. So each one of those takes in various ores automatically and does the extractor process on them. And then similarly over here with the furnaces, they are set up to take in various flakes and automatically cook them up. So anytime I get any ores and drop them in my system, they're automatically turned into their respective ingots. Over here in my grinder system, I am constantly grinding up canola to make sure I have enough lubricant, but I also have an automated setup to turn sugar cane into sugar or bones into bone meal should I want them, and then also an automated system for my uranium dust and my coal dust in order to make my Triso pellets. Real quickly, I just set up myself a simple lovely emitter system here with the precision export bus, and it will automatically make Triso fuel pellets anytime I have less than 64 of them. It will go ahead and make up some more, and of course they are automatically inserted into the pebble bed reactor, so I always have plenty of power, and I should never run out unless I run out of coal or the uranium, and I do just as a quick check, I will show you I have over 10,000 bits of coal, and I have 9,000 pitch blende ingots, which is used to make the uranium. So I should be okay for power for quite some time. And then I've got power going to my ME system. I've got my induction smelter set up to do the stuff I need for that. And then over here, of course, my fractionator to make my jet fuel there, and then my pulse jet furnace that I use the jet fuel for some things. And then a canola farm over there working, which is making way more canola than I actually need. So all that being said, charging up a coil here as well. All that being said, the next step would be to power find a way to do some automatic mining. And like any good technology mod, and even some of the magic mods, there is of course a way to do that, and that is with the boring machine. So if we go to our RotaryCraft handbook, which is right here, you will see that the boring machine digs the tunnels in the direction that it is facing, and then there's a lot more interesting information there. The amount of power you give it will determine how well, or how, not only how fast, but how much you can dig, and I'll show you that in a minute. So I have already basically done all the setup I needed, and here what I've done is I've got some power coming in, and I have to use these belt hubs to transmit the power. Now, a belt hub is connected with another belt hub via a belt. So if we go down here, you will see that each of those 3 belt hubs, and it's graphically sometimes glitchy, but each belt hub is connected to the belt hub that is right above it. The belt hubs do have to be in line with each other, and then they are connected with these belts in between them, which look like this. And that's what I needed all the leather for, because 2 of these belts require 8 leather, and 1 belt is needed for each distance between the belt hub. So I believe this belt hub to the one above there is about 50 or so blocks, so it would require 50 of those belts. And you can do the math on how much leather that is. There is a limit, number 1, in how much power the belt hubs can transmit, and there's also a limit to how far they can transmit, that distance being 64 blocks. So because I am at Y level 100 up there, and I want my boring machine to work at Y level 5 or 6, I went ahead and made a series of these belt hubs, and so that's why the belt hub, the power coming from in goes into those belt hubs there, feeds down to here, which feeds into these belt hubs, which goes all the way down to here to these belt hubs, and then of course the power is then junctioned back together into this spot here, and as you can see I have 200,000 megawatts of power, and that actually is wrong because in playing with this I changed one of the settings that I don't think I want to have. So let me go back to this junction and change it to a even split. There we go. And let's head way back down to the bottom here, like so. So we've got, get back up, we've got 160 roughly million watts of power that is coming in. So at this point in time I can attach the boring machine to the, I'll just attach it to the end of the dynamometer. So if I needed to, I guess I can see how much power I'm getting. And then on top of that, I'm going to go ahead and place a double chest. And we'll do it like so. Yeah, that's good. And so, of course, as you might expect, as the boring machine digs out, it will place all the items into the chest, which I will, of course, hook up to my applied Energistics system to get it up into my ME network. Now, when you go to this boring machine configuration, it looks like this. This here is a 5 tall, 7 wide area that the boring machine will dig out. This spot here with the square with an X in it represents the spot where the boring machine itself is. So for example, if you just activate that one, it will dig in a straight line from this spot straight out horizontally. But you can set it to, do any of these spots that you might want. So as you can see, what I had when I was testing it earlier, I had done like this little archway type effect. If you're looking for a maximum, you just go ahead and select all of these and turn them on. If you're like me and you're trying to be a little bit silly, you make some type of an archway like this, just because it's kind of goofy looking, like so. And just break that real quick. I'll explain that in a minute. So let me see if I can get back up here so we can see things working. And the bore will go, as you can see, it's got an operation time of about 10 seconds. That's based upon how much power it's receiving as well. And it will, it's already starting to put stuff into the chest. But every 10 seconds, it will move another space forward horizontally, dig up those items and place them into the chest, whether they be cobblestone or dirt or ores or whatever. Coal, it's going to dig it just like it would any other, like a quarry or anything like that. Now, if you are using enchantments, you can actually enchant the boring machine. For example, you could enchant it with Silk Touch, and then it would collect ores rather than collecting, say you would have gotten coal ore instead of just coal. So that's pretty cool. You could also enchant it with Fortune, and it would have the Fortune effect as it's mining away things. And that's basically all there is to the boring machine. It's not boring, but it's a pretty neat little device. Now, these here they're called mining pipes. They are just, I don't know how you would describe it, but I call it just like a filler. If you just left click it, they go away. You can just do it with your hand, and in fact, if you do a piece like that, it even does an entire section, if you will, like that. Let me see my night vision, turn my night vision on here. So you'll see this go and collect up, and then as the boring machine goes along, it just leaves behind these mining pipes. And basically the main benefit of that is, because you are digging out an area down here, you won't end up with this dark, hollow space where monsters can spawn, because the space will be occupied by these mining pipes. So it's kind of a nice way to help not have created a space where you're going to just end up with a bunch of mobs. And again, they're easy to get rid of. You just click them like that and they go away. So it's not as though they are difficult to get rid of if you decide that you want to come down, and you can place some torches. And as you can see, there's some coal ore there, and I saw, you can kind of barely see through the pipes, there's some iron ore over there in the walls. You want to come back through and dig, there's redstone ore, dig out what's in the walls. But in the meantime, this will just keep going, and as you can see, it will just keep collecting whatever items that it takes. So one question you might wonder to yourself is, how far will this thing go? I don't think that there is a limit. The limit may be dictated by the abilities of your computer, or by Forge, or by Minecraft itself. This thing may go infinitely. There's a benefit there as opposed to, say, a Buildcraft quarry. If you've played with Buildcraft, the quarry digs down. So you start at the top and you dig downward, and once you get to the bedrock level, you're done. This, because it's digging horizontally, it doesn't have an ending point. It will keep going as long as it has power. So this potentially will dig forever. And because it will dig forever, that also means that don't do that, like that. It also means that whatever ores it comes across, it will it will go ahead and dig those up. In truth, I could probably use with I could probably do with having 2 or 3 or 4 of these boring machines, just run in parallel or sequence, or different areas. Another benefit to a boring machine, well, maybe not a benefit depending on how you look at it, because it goes horizontally, it's going to cross biomes. So if you were playing in, say, a standard, or not even a standard, but any kind of a Minecraft world where certain ores are more prevalent in certain biomes, then as you cross the biome, you will come across those, but then when you leave the biome, you won't have those. A quarry, of course, since it digs vertically down, you could put it into one particular biome and always dig up that biome. Now, I've supposedly heard that you can put the boring machine vertically as well and have it run up and down. There's probably not much of a reason to do that, because the main benefit of this, in my opinion, is set it up like this, have it going horizontally, and just leaving it alone and letting it do its thing. So that's what I'm going to do with it. I'm just going to let it run. You can see it's running pretty quickly. You got to figure the operation time on this is set to just a little under 10 seconds. So it is digging out, a layer every 10 seconds. And I have the machine set to this configuration. So you have 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. It's doing 19 blocks every 10 seconds, which is, pretty good. As you can see, I've already got some cadmium, I've got some aluminum, there's iron, coal, redstone, of course, a bunch of cobblestone. Anytime you have any type of mining, automatic mining, you end up with a bunch of cobblestone. I have to determine whether or not I'm going to keep that cobblestone or maybe find another use for it. I don't really know that I can use cobblestone for really much of anything at this point in time. Let's see, there's different tools that it makes, but I easily can make all those already. So other than pulverizing it down to something else, I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to get too involved in that. I'll probably just cut that out. That was kind of stupid to have in there. So anyway, that is the boring machine and the power for it. So it will go ahead and dig through and get me up more ores and minerals and whatever else I might need, and that will allow me to focus on getting started with building my the equipment, the machinery that I need to get started with getting to the moon. Okay, the first thing we need to build is called the Circuit Fabricator, and the Circuit Fabricator allows you to make something called wafers. There's a basic wafer and there's an advanced wafer. It's pretty easy. Put 2 pieces of raw silicon there, get that from the silicon ore that you find throughout the world. A piece of a diamond there, a redstone there, and a redstone torch there. Of course, as long as you have power, supply it with some power, and this will slowly fabricate, I guess. I guess that's what it's doing. It's fabricating away, and you will end up with 3 basic wafers for those ingredients. For an advanced wafer, it's basically similar. The silicon, the diamond, the redstone, and you use a redstone repeater. And again, it will fabricate away, and when it gets all the way to the end of this thing here, this colorful display like so, then you get 1 advanced wafer. And that's how you make wafers. Now you need the wafers to make the rest of the equipment, and so the next thing I'm going to make is a compressor. There are 2 types of compressors for the metal compressing, actually. The regular compressor and the electric compressor. What the compressor does is it will create these compressed... they take regular copper ingots, or regular metallic ingots, and they turn it into a compressed form of that. So copper becomes compressed copper, tin becomes compressed tin, etc. And you can do that with either the electric ingot compressor or the regular ingot compressor. However, the electric ingot compressor actually requires some compressed ingots. So you will have to make a normal ingot compressor first, which looks like this, and is powered by coal. So you just go ahead and put some coal in it. And we're going to need some steel, compressed steel ingots, which is made with, I believe I did this. Ooh, did I do this? Okay, that's going to make compressed iron. I don't want to make compressed iron. I think I have to put 1 piece of iron and 2 pieces of coal. No, 2 pieces of iron and 4 pieces of coal. Nope. Well, when in doubt, look it up. Compressed steel is coal, and then compressed iron. Okay, so take these out. So you'll put in 2 pieces of iron, which will give us a compressed piece of iron. It's not too slow. There we go. And then a compressed piece of iron with 2 pieces of coal will give us a piece of compressed steel. As that runs through here real quick. Like that. There we go. And that gives us compressed steel. Great. So I need to continue that. I'll need 4 pieces of compressed steel and a piece of compressed bronze, along with my advanced wafer, and I can make the electric ingot compressor. Once I have the electric compressor, that can be plugged into the power network, and now I can compress ingots into the compressed forms using the power generated from my nuclear reactor rather than relying on coal. Okay, so the next thing we've built is the oxygen collector. Give it power and it will slowly fill up with oxygen, just takes it in from the surrounding air. It's fairly simple. And we need to pipe that oxygen into this, which is the oxygen compressor. So I believe if I just run an oxygen pipe like so, yeah, now the oxygen compressor has the oxygen and the oxygen collector is collecting more oxygen. So we make a oxygen tank. There's 3 different levels, light, medium, and heavy. I just went ahead and went with heavy because, you know, why not? Put that here, and that should begin placing oxygen into this tank. Unfortunately, the tooltips are on top of each other, but I can kind of see it doing. So you can see there's got air remaining 244 with a maximum of 2700. So that will fill that up with air that it gets from the collector. So that part is working. The next part is to get some oil from underground and turn that into fuel. It's a kind of a shame that the jet fuel from RotaryCraft can't be used for this purpose, but that's okay. We will go down to the depths and get some oil. Okay, I located some oil. In truth, I found the oil a long time ago. I just remembered where it was at. As you can see here, there's the oil. It's just flowing downward like so. So at this point in time, I have a portable oil extractor, and then I have these empty liquid canisters. Now these, as far as I know, just have to be in your inventory. But with the portable oil extractor, you right click on the oil and that will put some into the oil canister. So I have 200 oil in the oil canister. I don't know how much it holds. Now I have 400, and I'm just going to keep doing this. And that's filled, and this one is getting filled. I don't know how much oil I can get. Seems like quite a bit. Well, I filled up these oil canisters, so now that we have oil, we need to build a refinery, which I've done, and annoyingly, the refinery takes power from the top. All the other machines so far have taken power from the sides. But that's okay. I, finagled something around here to provide power to this refinery. And just take these oil canisters that I filled up earlier, plop them in. They go in to this refinery oil tank. So I'm going to go ahead and empty these 2 into there. And then if I click refine, it should slowly turn that. Yeah, there you go. It's going down, and over here we are getting refined fuel. So this is the fuel, which is made from, obviously, from refining the oil, and the fuel is what we need in order to make our rockets take off. The fuel is much more powerful than oil is, of course. So I'm not entirely sure how much fuel I'm going to need, so I will continue gathering oil and refining it until I have what I hope is enough. And this is the NASA Workbench. Dun, da, da, da. This is the thing that will actually build the rocket that we will use to get to the moon. And ooh, I can unlock schematics, but I don't have any. So we're going to build a tier 1 rocket. It requires a bunch of different parts, which I will assemble and put together. And then we will be able to travel to the moon. I've built the components necessary for my rocket: nose cone, rocket engine, rocket fins, and some heavy duty plating. This took up quite a bit of resources. Let me think: 2 stacks of tin, 2 stacks of copper, 2 stacks of aluminum, 2 stacks of iron, and 2 stacks of coal. Actually, a little bit more coal, tin, and iron than that, but essentially 2 stacks of all of those metals to build this rocket. Pretty expensive. But now you put in the nose cone, the engine, the fins go like this, and the heavy duty plating goes like that. And that is the tier 1 rocket. Now, I actually forgot that I want to put some chests in here to give myself some extra storage space. So let me go get those. Now, I don't think I can put more than 1 in each spot. No, I sure can't. So that will give me the storage space equivalent of, I believe, 3 chests. But whatever it gives me, I will take. Oh, storage space 54, it tells me right there. So that will get me my rocket. And I just click that. And now I have a rocket. In fact, if I hold it, you can see it in my hands. It's, well, considering the amount of resources I put into it, it's not that big of a rocket. Oh well. And a rocket launch pad. All we got to do now is take our rocket, plop it down in the center of the launch pad, like so. There's a rocket. As you can see, I've dug myself a silo out to the sky. And this is a fuel loader. If we right-click on the rocket, now I'm actually inside the rocket, but I will get back out of it. Let's see. There we go. Let me see if I right-click it and then hit I. You can see there's no fuel in it and there's no inventory in it. There we go. So, oops, wrong button. There we go. Get out of it again. And this is the fuel loader. So we can take our empty canisters, I believe we need 5 of them, over here to our refinery and load them up with fuel like so. And that's got 1,000 fuel in it. And I believe we want 5,000 fuel. I've made too much, I think. At least I hope so. I can always make more though. It's not too complicated. And go over to our fuel loader and put it in. And so now it has fuel in the fuel loader itself, like so. And then I can click load fuel, and it should be putting fuel into the rocket. So if I get into the rocket, oops, there we go, and click I, yep, see, my fuel is filling up, and it will shortly, of course, be at 100%. It turns green at 80%. Supposedly that's all that you need, but I don't see why you would not go ahead and fill it completely up. So that's now full, and oh, looks like I didn't need as much fuel as I thought, but that's okay. So my rocket is fueled, and I am ready to travel to the moon. Well, not exactly. There's going to be something else that I'm going to need, but we'll talk about that in another episode. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.